Hey guys, it's me Chan Dragon. So today's video I'll cover for who should you pull or pick for the 100% red up banner or even the new standard banner that just reset. So it's kinda similar because both of them is Bianca Crepuscule. So yeah, it can work for both, but specifically for that standard basic research itself, I will make also dedicated video like whether also you should skip or not and what the priority. So that will be another video. And also I will include like who should you pick if you just want to go for SSG or even Triple S. So yeah, let's get started. So in here I will focus like 5 or 6 character of my choice in here, but of course I will mention couple of the honorable mention first. For honorable mention, there's 2. First is Luna Oblivion. So Luna Oblivion in general, she's still pretty much meta in Nihil team. She can be main DPS or sub DPS depend on your investment compared to Ishmael itself. And she actually quite versatile. You can play like with some dark team with Lilith, Luna Oblivion and Wanshi or any just tank. It actually can work as a decent dark team though, although it's not meta, but it's not so far from the meta itself, which is crazy that how she can be utilized even as an off element. And another thing that building Nihil team in general pretty friendly just because basically you just need any tanks or even like any amplifier. But of course the best option right now for the tank is Ishmael. But yeah, even then you just want to pair like any tank or any amplifier, it still actually can work. So that's why it's quite budget friendly for building the team itself. Of course with the exception is that Luna cannot work with physical character. The only reason why I don't really put on the top choice mostly because she can be even paid by 5 RC and she is already relatively quite old, so better for me to choose a kind of recent character. Another thing also, you can at the worst case just buy from BP shop itself slowly, so it's actually quite more accessible. So in general, my main recommendation for her to pick or pull is that if you just want to start to build a Nihil team or even you just want to build a team that's relatively budget friendly, and yeah, that's my 2 reasons. Of course, other thing if you like the character too. Next honorable mention is Hanjing Solostone. So in general, she's actually still pretty much meta as a tank in both physical and Slash. The reason I didn't give on the top choice mostly because she's Reno is just feel like as a complementary character. It's not a character first choice that I recommend if you want to start to build a new element. So she's just mostly makes as a second priority, meaning that if you already complete the core team, let's say like the main DPS, then yeah, afterwards you can consider to pick Hanjing Solostone. Also is that she's already relatively quite old compared to the recent release, so I recommend also to pick the newer character. But in general, for my recommendation, if you want of course to complete your meta physical and Ultima Slash team, then I recommend for you pull or pick for her. And of course the last one, if you like the character, feel free to pick for her. And here, this is my actually top pick in here. There's 6 of them. The order actually doesn't really matter because in the end of the day, it just really depends on your account progression. Number 6 is Lucia Pyrowood. So Lucia Pyrowood still serves as a meta main DPS in both fire and plasma. So still pretty much like the core team in here. And another good thing about her is that she's in terms of kit is quite diverse. She has a lot of different stuff that you can do with her. She has 2 different ultimates. She even can fly, although we never use it in PGR. But yeah, in terms of the kit itself, yeah, they put a lot on her in terms of feature. Of course, because she is one of the MC. However, there's a couple of downsides that I want to talk. First, probably on this all list, she's the most demanding in terms of like investment. She literally, I really recommend for you to get SS with weapon. If not, don't pull. Why? If you only have S, her rotation will be very long. You can go to Narnia, go back, her rotation is not even finished yet. And also that her weapon is really essential, and also you need to put DLT. If not, her rotation kinda can be janky. Even you say play for fun, it will be super janky without like DLT. You can still make up for the very simple rotation, but again, it kinda lose DPS, and you will have trouble too for the longer run for the orbs though. So she kinda need actually SS with weapon. Another thing too, that she is one of the characters that quite have so much rotation, literally S different playstyle, SS different playstyle, SSG and Triple S even you need to tweak a little bit. So yeah, she's quite complicated for some players, so it's not really, I can say, casual friendly. But in the end, I still have my recommendation for you to pick for her. First is that if you want to start to build your fire or even plasma team, then yeah, I recommend to start from Lucia Pyrowood because she's the main DPS. She's the one that carry for the most of the performance in here. Second, make sure you have enough currency and PPC school to make her SS and pull her weapon. Third, of course, if you like the character gameplay, feel free to pull for her. Number 5th is Bianca Crepuscule. So Bianca Crepuscule is pretty much still a meta either as a main DPS or a sub DPS in Dark. And as for Radiance, she's supposed to be main DPS, but we don't know. We don't even have the content yet. Another good thing about her is that I really like her kit because it's relatively unique that she's one of the few characters that the effect and the main element, the kit is actually separate. It's not like, oh, you only hold and it suddenly just deal effect, let's say like Fira or let's say like Veronica. But Bianca, no, they separate, which I kind of like though this type of concept. It feels like she actually wields two different elements. As for downside, she doesn't have any meaningful downside. It's more like notes that although Bianca is the main DPS, unfortunately for the short combat, let's say like PPC, in general Lilith's still pretty much better, mostly because Lilith rotation is much faster, so easier for you to trigger for the ultimate, while Bianca still need took time, so it's kinda a little bit slower though. So yeah, unfortunately in terms of PPC, we will mostly use Lilith, and Lilith also free, easier to triple S, and if you already reach that point, yeah, Lilith usually better. In Warzone, of course, both of them is necessary, so it's not really stuff that you need to argue though, but yeah, that's a little bit things to note though. And that's also the additional stuff why I don't put her so high also, mostly because you can even use Lilith and she is free, especially if you already get like triple S. You can just use the temporary team like Luna Oblivion and even like Wanshi. It's still pretty much a decent dark team for a while for you to hold off and prioritize other element. And another thing about her is that Radiant's not even relevant yet. So although like yeah, she's supposed to be much more useful, but right now like there's no Radiant's content. So as per right now, like it's not very urgent for you to get her right now. As per my recommendation for you to pick or pull Bianca's Crepuscule, which is first, of course, if you want main DPS or even like as a sub DPS for your meta purpose, of course, in the dark team, then yeah, pull for Bianca Crepuscule. And second, of course, if you visionary want to start to preparing your Radiance team, then yeah, you can start to pull, of course, Bianca right now. And lastly, of course, if you like the character gameplay, feel free to pull for her. Number 4 is Nanami Star Trail. So Nanami Star Trail is still pretty much meta in terms of lightning tank and of course like tank in ignition. Another thing, she is relatively beginner friendly and also multi-purpose. And also maybe if you don't plan to pull for Leaf Limpidity, then she can become an alternative decent main DPS, and even she can just solo, and her team's relatively budget friendly. That's why I say it's beginner friendly too. Like basically 21 Feral is free, Alpha is also free, so you can just play solo on her. Also, the weapon is not pretty much like a must. Like it's good to have for more damage, but if you really cannot get the weapon, her rotation is still pretty much fine. So it's very friendly for beginner and also budget too. As for downside and things to note, I don't think she has any meaningful downside, but there's one annoyance when you use her, especially solo, is that you will encounter with RNG orb. Sometimes if you have bad RNG, it can mess up your rotation. That's a little bit small annoyance. The other thing too is that although she is very good, I really recommend, but she's available on Thunderbolt, where at the worst case you can use that Thunderbolt to get Nanami Star Trail, unless you already use it to maybe getting Lucia Parrot or hunting something like that. Then yeah, this is where it becomes handy though. As for my recommendation for you to pick or pull for Nanami Star Trail, first, if you want to complete your lightning team and also ignition team, then yeah, I recommend for you to get Nanami. Second, maybe you're a beginner that want just like a team not looking for meta but just want a decent enough to carry you, easy to play. Like it's not need so much investment, because basically Nanami at the worst you can just play solo, but even then she has like team that actually free 21 Feral and Alpha Crimson Wave. You can just slap that and it's already good enough for you to carry you. And also she one of the characters that doesn't really rely on weapons, so that's why I say like for beginner, yeah, she's pretty much one of the characters that quite good to start with too. Third, if you like character gameplay, feel free to pull for her. Number 3, Selena Pianissimo. So Selena Pianissimo is still pretty much core right now if you want to start your physical team and also glaciation team, because she's the main carry or the main EPS right now. As for downside and things to note, I don't have any meaningful downside of her, but for her, I recommend actually to get her signature weapon with DLT if you can, mostly because it can give you a noticeable increase in terms of performance and damage itself, mostly because you can extend the rotation. But of course, if you cannot get it, it's fine. It's just like your rotation is so shorter, and of course the performance kinda compared to the one that you have weapon. And also, unfortunately for Selena Pianissimo, if you only have SS, you will very rare or will never even use the special ultimate or the flower ultimate, mostly because on SS it took very long time to get the charge for the flower ultimate. So because of that, it can only achieve consistently and easier, and it's poor to use when you get SS3, which is kinda unfortunate. But in the end, I still have my recommendation for you to pick for Selena Pianissimo. First, if you want to start to build your physical team and also your glaciation team, then I recommend for you to start with Selena Pianissimo because she's the main carry in here. So she's the core that I recommend first if you want to start for your meta journey in terms of physical and glaciation. Second, if you like the character and gameplay, feel free to pull for her. Second, Firaghera 4. So Firaghera 4 in general is a very solid amplifier that serves as a meta purpose in terms of fire element and also dark flow. She also actually can be meta DPS in Ignition if you don't have Dante, and even like if you don't have Dante, she's still pretty much like competitive or even better because she's easier to play compared to Dante. So yeah, she's right now the mostly people use as a main DPS in Ignition too. Another thing, she's easy to play, also a character that budget friendly because at the worst if you cannot pull the weapon, she still can work smoothly without any have a cringe rotation, and that's actually really good. So in general, she's pretty much quiet, multi-purpose, and have a lot of multi-roles. As for downside of her, I don't think she has any meaningful downside, but I want to say again, Fira in terms of her team is relatively expensive if you want to aim to build her meta team. Let's say like Fire, she needs Lucia Parrot, and Lucia Parrot is also quite expensive to build, like need SS weapon, even like SSG if you want. And yeah, Watanabe in general, if you don't get this preview selector, you need to pull, and yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, you can get up slowly from the BP shop, but it will take a while. Another thing, Dark Flow too, it's expensive, you need Lift, so that's also a lot of character that you need to aim. Compared to other team element, at least one of the character is free, but here is most of the whole full team is you need to pull. So her team in general kinda actually premium, so yeah, keep that in mind. As for my recommendation for you to pull for Firaghera 4, first, if you need to complete your fire team and also dark flow team, then yeah, I recommend to get her. Second, maybe if you miss Dante and need a solid or even meta DPS in Ignition, you can get Firaghera 4 as an alternative or even as an upgrade even. Third, maybe you want a character that's easy to play. Pharah is also my recommendation. She's quite easy for you to adapt. Maybe your new player want to just find easy character to play, then she's one of them. And lastly, of course, if you like character and gameplay, feel free to pull for her. First is Ishmael. So Ishmael is part of the meta in Nihil team, and she has this new class called Observer. In very short, she can become like tank or amplifier though. But in general, in Nihil, she will work as a tank. Another main highlight of her is that because she can just like basically transform into any amplifier or tank, then she can be used for any character that you're missing as long as tank or amplifier though. So this is why very new player friendly or very good for the player that missing a lot of character, especially in term of role of amplifier and tank. I'll give you an example. Let's say in Dark, you already have Lilith, you have Bianca Crepuscule, and you don't want to pull Karnesh here because she's already too old, you scared getting replaced, then you can just put actually Ishmael until you wait Karna getting replaced though, because in the end of the day, the performance, yes, it's not the best, but it's not too far too though. So yeah, it's very good for those people that you missing a lot of characters. She can be a very handy character for you to choose. As for downside and things to note, I don't think she has any meaningful downside, but I just want to give you a remind is that although she is so good, she can mimic anything, become amplifier or tank in any element, it's not as superior as you think. Once you have a mature account like me or endgame account like me, she pretty much just become a tank in Nihil and that's it. I never use in other like literally team anymore. She's just in there because I already have all the best option. Although it's really good, it's only good for beginner or like maybe a player that missing here and there. But if you already have complete character like me, she just basically work as a one role. Don't think too high about her about this feature. Another thing, Another last reminder, she will not work on physical. Include Ultima Slash. As for my recommendation for you to pull for her, first, if you want to complete or even to start your journey in Nihil Element, then I recommend for you to pull for her. Second, maybe you are a new player or maybe returning player that missing a lot of different meta team, then I recommend for you to pull for her because she can just fill the blank that you don't have. Third, if you like character gameplay, feel free to pull for her. And that's pretty much the character that I recommend. But now if the case that you want to SS3 to use this 100% or the 100% pickup from the standard, which one that I recommend? So the first priority, it's in here. They are all the same tier just because they are provide the same function technically, which is Gen 3 Tank, Gen 3 Amplifier, and Ishmael, because Ishmael is basically Tank and Amplifier in the same time. So both of them share the same common things, why they are so good. Mostly because for the Tank, they give 10% more threat into their respective element, and for the Amplifier, they give 10% more element bonus to their respective element. And that's also work for Ishmael. So that's why it's actually really good, because this buff is basically improve the whole team performance. It's not only individual, so it's actually a constant damage increase every single rotation. So actually it's just really good. If you want more context, who is Gen 3 Tank, they are Watanabe Epitaph, Hanying Solastone, One Lucid Dreamer, and Nanami Star Trail. And for Gen 3 Amplifier, they are Lilith, Feragera 4, technically Veronica, but she's not in here. But if you want me to narrow down, just focus for the Tank, either you want to choose Hanying Solastone or Nanami Star Trail. And for the Amplifier is focus on Feragera 4. And of course also for the Ishmael, just because they are more rare compared to others. Let's say like in here Lilith, you can even get SSG, even if I'm not wrong, from the gacha itself directly, and even like Wanshi you can get from the EP shop slowly. You can make SSG or even Watanabe Epitaph. If I'm wrong, you can do that directly. So because of that, they are more accessible compared, let's say like Fira, they are more rare. So that's why I focus on them first. Second priority is Lucia Parrot SSG, because on SSG Lucia Parrot, you can basically unlock her full rotation in here, and her QT also getting stronger. And third priority is Selena Pianissimo or Bianca Crepuscule. So basically for Selena Pianissimo, it will allow you to do consistently the Flower Ultimate or the Special Ultimate, which is can unlock her full potential of DPS. Also her QT getting stronger actually, and of course more damage in general. As for Bianca Crepuscule, basically you will unlock one more feature where after you use your whole blue orb itself, it will have a special red orb that you can click. It will have additional movement, pretty cool, and of course improving the damage. Her QT getting much stronger. And that for SSG. Now for the Triple S, which one should be your priority? Basically still the same. The first position is still the Gen 3 Tank and Gen 3 Amplifier plus Ishmael. Mostly because in here they get another 10% of threat, and for the Amplifier they will get another 10% of elemental damage bonus, depending of course into their respective element. Another thing too, as Triple S will massive boost both of this Amplifier and Tank performance. Also they will sometimes get quality of life where it can shorten their rotation, so it's actually not just damage, more comfy, and also like more like buff in general too. And specifically for Tank, you will get like character switch cooldown, which is can be pretty good for some situation. Amplifier, you will get QT reset when you switch character, which is good too. So yeah, still the same reason, because the improvement from Triple S just basically improve the performance of whole team. It's just actually more stable, more consistent, and in general the improvement is much more significant compared to one character improvement though. So of course I already mentioned before that if you want me to narrow down, just focus for the Tank is Hanying Solastone or Nanami Star Trail. For Amplifier, getting Feragera 4, and of course plus Ishmael. And second priority, just choose any recent meta main DPS. So they are right now is Bianca Crepuscule, Selena Pianissimo, or even Lucia Parrot. All of them is actually just good, mostly because improving their DPS by significant, and it's actually quite good too though, although not as good as Tank and Amplifier, but it's still quite big improvement too. And the third priority or the third layer in here is just either choose like Luna Oblivion or choose Sukra. I don't give them too much in the priority anymore because they're already quite old, so you know, quite prone to getting replaced too. So that's why I say like just focus on the recent first. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall I can say the picks right now is actually wide because there's a lot of character that in this pool that's still meta, so it just very depend on your account progression. If you really have any specific questions, you can just ask in the comment, because I literally cannot cover everything. If not, this video will maybe like 1 hour or more. But I guess to simplify it in here, if you're a beginner, I just recommend to just get Ishmael, because that's the safest choice, because she can just put in everywhere. But even then, you already have complete team, she will still also meta in Nihil team, so it's not gonna waste. But again, it's also very depends on your account progression, so it's not always the answer though. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you like this video, feel free to hit the button like, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.